or the tower stage could potentially not be required. They could find the pipe on the other end of it and it take them to the other side, or just not be required at all. So, all right, first world up is World 6. On your top left, we have Human Mustard. Top right, Proa 007. Bottom left, the reigning champ, Macobra 52. And the bottom right, we have Paradox, who took an unfortunate early death there on a very difficult World 5 stage that I never liked. Pro has found himself into, I believe, 7-6 without a big Mario to do the clip. So it looks like he's going to go for the other stage and potentially try to get a power-up and finish it with a big Mario. First power-up here is the start. It's going to be one more at the end here. It is a mushroom, so as long as Pro can hold on to this big Mario here, along with the others. Ooh, that was so close. Human Mustard and Macobra opted to go ahead and complete the stage as intended. Proa is going to have the benefits as well as Paradox of getting the wall clip here. Proa gets it first try. Very nice. So even with the time that it took for Proa to do that stage, what appeared to be a second time, as well as Paradox, luckily he got it within the first couple of tries as well, they were able to finish that stage faster than Human Mustard and Macobra both, doing it intended ways. So that other stage was not the easiest to get through either. All right, so Proa and Paradox took a split path here. Macobra took the same path as Paradox. Proa is going to go ahead and finish up on that one that he was going into, as well as Human Mustard finishing up at 7-6. All right, so Proa and Macobra both took the bottom path, it looks. Getting at that first hammer, bro. Again, the runners are doing 100% for this seed. So if you notice that they are doing stages that they don't necessarily would need to do in a normal randomizer, they decided to mix it up this week to do 100% on this seed. So the only exceptions again are the Hammer Bro in World 2, the one that you have to get to break the rock to, and the tower stage in World 5. Those are the only two stages they will not be required to do. Getting that beta level out of the way. Nice and early here in World 6. No forts at the start of World 6, which is a little unusual. You usually see at least one fort at the start of 6. Looks like it's going to be backloaded with the forts near the end. And Macobra getting over that H block, no problem. And Pro is going to be the first out of that first little cluster of stages there in that first section of 6. Just Paradox got a star. It looks like everybody got a star out of that Hammer Bro right at the start. Water levels real nice and slow, so that's going to give Human Mustard and Macobra looks like a little chance to catch up. Most of them are all pretty much neck and neck for the most part right here in the beginning of 6. Pro with a slight advantage still. It all really came down to him sacrificing the time to get that big Mario to get the clip into 7-6. All right, so Paradox is right behind Proa still, as Human Mustard and Makoba are still pretty much about 1 to 2 levels behind. Still really close here in 6. World 4 levels are just terrorizing. This World 3 and you're just super slow. So yes, they are doing a 100% completion for this seed. So you'll be seeing them do every stage that they can, minus the Hammer Bro in World 2 and the Tower stage in World 5. Those are the only 2 they will not have. Cobra heading into that fortress right away, wasting no time. Alright, Pro, go ahead and opting to go ahead and take out the Hammer Bros first. 2 Fire Bros on that first one, getting a P-Wing, not bad. Makoba, go ahead and going for that star item right there in the first block. Able to bypass the spikes and get the quick kill on the Boom Boom. That's going to catch him up a little bit, save him a little bit of time there compared to the other. And the first to get that fortress done. Looks like everyone's having the unfortunate luck of the double Fire Bro. Makoba gets that really weird glitch where you can hit the top Fire Bro if you hit the bottom at some certain frame. It's really weird. Alright, Human Mustard coming up to the fortress with Proa and Paradox about to finish it up as well. Proa finishes up, Paradox right behind him. Human Mustard going for the 1 cycle, gets it no problem. He's going to go and deboost and head under the spikes, and he's going to be catching up pretty quickly to Proa and Paradox as well. Very, very close race so far. Hand stage here in World 8. Coming up on that first stage, get a Cloud. Unfortunately, the Cloud won't be too beneficial in this 100% complete playthrough race to the seed. The only way that I could see the Cloud being helpful is if, well, no, you can always bypass the tower. It's not going to be required. Yeah, that Cloud's going to be not useful at all, unfortunately. Alright, looks like both Proa and Paradox taking the quicksand secret on the bottom for the item. Cobra went ahead and opted out of it, narrowly escaping the enemies there. And of course, we were going to run into this one in this seed. We have Atlantis near the end of World 6. Our runners here will have time to collect their thoughts into what they will need to run into in the next world here as they have a nice journey through the underwater a bit. So as well as having to do all stages, as you can see, you saw Human Mustard go back for that Hammer Bro. All Hammer Bros will be required for the 100%. So they're basically playing the 100% rules in the vanilla speedrun minus those 2 stages that I mentioned earlier. The Hammer Bro in World 2 behind the rock and the Tower stage. The Tower stage in Randomizer is potentially skippable and not required. If they can skip it, they are opted, or they can opt to. And they do not have to do the Hammer Bro that you find in World 2 at the end behind the what you would normally need a hammer to break the rock open to get to. So. All right. Looks like we have almost all three of our runners here about to get finished Atlantis. There we go. Everyone has gotten through there. Human Mustard will be the final one to finish it. And Proa will be the first one to make it to the castle. He definitely had an advantage taking that early lead, being able to do the wall clip in 7-6. So that's definitely paying off right here. All right, Pro clears up. World 6 there, first world in about just about the 11-minute mark. About 10 minutes and 50 seconds. 11-minute fade out. Paradox very close behind. Macobra has actually just caught the wand as well at 11:10. Paradox will be just a few seconds behind, as well as Human Mustard catching up as well. Really close race so far. This being a 100% completion of the seed, this definitely could go in anybody's favor throughout the entirety of this race. All right, first stage of World 1 here is 2-1. Cobra getting that nice skip there after the Lakitu. Not the Lakitu, I'm sorry. Going up on the side of the wall. I thought they were on the other underwater level. Oh, the auto-scroller from World 5. You're just getting all the auto-scrollers out of the way, it looks like. So both forts will be in front of both of the locks. So in this case, it doesn't matter since they're doing 100%, but it really doesn't matter in which order they do these forts. They're going to have to break them open anyways. Yeah, an early 5-9 in Atlantis in this seed is quite unfortunate. Pro taking the early dip down into the water. Macobra is caught up a little bit right behind him. Looks like he took a slight lead above Paradox here. Hitting his no blocks for the bridge. Macobra went ahead and went right up and above. Paradox very close behind. All four on the same stage, all four with a Fire Mario. That was quite a sight. And Human Mustard going with the P-Speed strat there, just taking the D-boost and boosting himself over. That's actually going to give him a pretty significant, a little bit increase of his lead here, at least over Paradox as well. He's pretty much matched him. Man, and just like that. Yeah, that P-Speed strat is pretty legit. If you don't mind deboosting and losing a power up there, it can save a lot of time. 1F, Pro went ahead and took out the Boom Boom. Macobra did as well. Paradox is going to do the same. Human Mustard is going to take an unfortunate death here. With a tail, though, Human Mustard is going to be the only one to get the item out of this one, which ends up being a flower. Paradox gets the fire kill on Boom Boom. And all four on the same fortress yet again, so very close here. Proa is going ahead and finish up along with Macobra. Both of those are pretty much neck and neck. Oh, that Boss Bass almost got Proa right there at the start. Macobra was ready for him, took the fireball right to him. Could see a lead change right here from Macobra and Proa. Very smooth from Macobra and Proa getting through that with that nasty Boss Bass. That's a nasty stage to get a Boss Bass in, pretty much every time you see it. Paradox very close behind, as well as Human Mustard. Oh, and we get a gobble up from both Human Mustard and Paradox almost at the same time. Both get eaten by Boss Bass. Human Mustard is met with a Hammer Bro before he gets down. Proa was able to go right past everything. Yeah, Human Mustard going with a star here. Don't blame him. Don't have to worry about the Boss Bass for a second until it respawns right about there. No star in everyone's favorite level to speedrun through, but both Pro and Macobra are able to get through it pretty quickly. It looks like at the end of this Hammer Bro with Macobra, both him and Pro will be pretty much neck up right here. Macobra with a slight lead, 2 to 3 second lead here as both of them head into the airship of World 1, which is the second world. Clean execution from Proa. He's heading right into... Oh, he's trying to go for a fire kill. Looked like he's going to have to settle for the traditional kill there. And Macobra just barely edges out Proa in that fight. But very close either way. Both Human Mustard and Paradox entering the airship at the same time. Very nice. Alright, so we have our third world coming up. It looks like, yeah, the world order is definitely random. I'm going to go ahead and say World 5 is going to be next. Both Macobra and Proa enter the same world, or the world at the same time as for World 7. Oh boy. This is not the stage that they wish they were greeted with in World 7, that's for sure. In both Paradox and Human Mustard finishing up their airships almost at identical times. So the good thing is we don't see an Angry Sun or a Boss Bass. Both of those are so horrendous to get in this stage. Macobra is going to go for the wall clip. He gets it right there. He's able to skip that bottom section. Human Mustard opts to take the kill, or the death, to switch to a frog suit. May have done an intentional deboost just to get a big Mario. Who knows with Human Mustard. Paradox barely, narrowly dodging that flying chomp head right there that went through the wall on the left-hand side. I mean, he barely dodged that. This stage right here is going to catch a couple of them up a little bit. And it's going to actually, even up this race considerably. Paradox was going to go for the P-Speed strat, where you could skip this section with charging up your P-Speed. It looks like he's going to go for the wall clip. Oh, with that fire trumper there. Gets it the second try. Very nice. An immediate lead change with Paradox getting the wall clip with Pro right behind. That was a fantastic lead change there, but it looks like Macobra was already there. Both Paradox and Macobra without a tail here to do the fast P-Speed strat there. The Star is just as fast, though. You can plow through those thwomps no problem through this World 6 Fortress. Human Mustard taking an unfortunate death. That's going to chew up a lot of time, unfortunately, for him. Alright, but it does look like Proa has finished up the Fortress. Right behind both Paradox and Mako. Again, if you're just joining us and you're probably wondering why these runners are doing extra stages that normally it looks like they wouldn't need to do. They have committed to doing a 100% completion of this week's weekly randomizer race. So that requires all stages and all Hammer Bros minus the one in World 2 behind the rock at the end there. Also, they will not need to do the tower stage in World 5 whenever they get there. Alright, this one, oh. Human Mustard going for that wall clip. Let's see if he can get it here. This will save him a lot of time from having to go all the way around, but let's see. There we go. Very nice. Human Mustard is out of that nightmare. He will have to hopefully catch up here. Paradox, ooh, getting squished there, going for that bottom route there. Macobra had two giant Koopa turtles up top. You don't see that a lot, only in Randomizer. Paradox knows what he's doing here. He's going for the frog strats. There is two giant ones up there. That's right. I wasn't imagining that. Alright, Human Mustard with a nice fire kill on the Boom Boom. He's catching up here a little bit. He was able to get through that World 6 Fortress pretty quick. Meanwhile, this reverse underwater level with these bloopers are never... Oh, this is S-Diesel. I probably should have done introductions at the start. My bad. Wolf will be online. Back later, though. Alright, Macobra going through the first plant stage there. Looks like he's still got that slight edge there. Pro is right behind him, though. He's about to head up into that island. It definitely helps where it's almost a little bit close to vanilla, somewhat into the pipe order location. It's interesting, this World 7, because they do have to do all the levels. They have to figure out where all the pipes go, but for the most part, they're all pretty straightforward. Looking like Human Mustard is about I want to say about 2 stages behind the lead here, with Proa just a couple seconds behind as well. I'm trying to see where Paradox is here. Human Mustard going for what I would assume is a wall clip here that I've never seen before, which I don't doubt exists, though. Alright, Pro's going to clean up the fortress with this star kill and Boom Boom. Paradox is almost finished up the bottom portion there of World 7, and then we'll be able to take that pipe up to the top portion where the plant stage is, which I'm going to assume there's going to be a pipe there that's going to lead them to the end as well. Makobra has found his way into the newly added beta stage. Alright, there we go. Cobra has made, Makobra found the beta level into the final area, so we know where that is at. This beta level is not friendly whatsoever. I think pretty much every time I've seen this level pop up in Seeds, it always has the worst enemy spawns at the most inconsistent rates. Oh, it's just a nightmare. Makobra finishes up. Pro is very close behind. Paradox also very close behind. Human Mustard has made his way up to the top area there, where there is only 2 stages up there. We'll have to find that pipe that takes me to the final island as well, where other 3 runners are at. Pro right behind Makobra and Paradox here. Actually, Paradox going ahead to be finishing up that one. Ooh, Makobra with a very risky jump there, nails it. Yeah, I believe there are about, I want to say there's 8 or 9 beta levels within the randomizer that there is. Could be wrong on that number though. Human Mustard going with a D-boost strat on the spikes there. He's going to skip the first power up, check the second one, sees that it's a star. He's going to, he was almost assured that he was going to get that star. I thought he was going to get that star. He barely missed the star. Notice he could not finish off that D-boost, so he's going to have to ride the platform for the rest of the way. Both Makobra and Paradox here finishing up the Air Force level. Alright, all that's left is the final plant level, and then the airship in World 7 here. Makobra with a very slight lead over both Pro and Paradox. Human Mustard's not that far behind as well. If he finishes up these next couple stages pretty swiftly, he'll be right there with him as well. Alright, as Makobra enters in for the Ludwig airship fight. Paradox finishing up the plant level, Pro entering the airship. That should be the final level for that island that Human Mustard is in. He's on to the final island here, where we'll have, looks like 3 regular stages, the fortress, the plant level, and then the airship. So yeah, he is a good couple number stages behind, but again, this is 100% completion of this seed. It is by far not over yet for Human Mustard. He can easily catch up, no problem. Takes an unfortunate death there at the end of that beta level. The next level here in World 5, actually first level in World 5 is a fortress. You need to take a good look at World 5 here when Makobra gets back. Alright, here we go. We can look at Proa. I don't see the tower in the first screen, so that means the tower is going to be in the second screen, which means one of the 2 pipes here that we see will take you either to the other pipe in the cloud area, or it'll take you to the back end of the tower. So this is good for at least the randomizer aspect. They definitely want to finish all of the levels within the first area before they go to the second area, so that they don't have to backtrack, because this is a 100% completion. Alright, so we're going to find out here after this stage that Makover finishes up where it's going to lead to. Pro and Paradox are pretty close behind. Yes, the Koopalings are tied to the world. So the airship stage is randomized, but the Koopalings are tied to the world that they're in. Alright. Cobra playing very consistent through the start of World 5 here. And Makover has found his way to one of the tank levels in World 8. Both Human Mustard and Makover doing a tank. So one other stage in this first area. We got 2-1 here. Or I'm sorry, 1-2. Both Pro and Paradox pretty much paired up right on the same level, almost at the same exact spot. Pro is slightly a little bit ahead. Yeah, I mean, it's pretty much neck and neck.
Yeah, you're definitely not wrong. I mean, Pro Paradox, we do have 2 separate screens going on here. I promise you that. But yeah, they are just that close. I mean, same power up and everything, working on that tanks level. Crazy.
There's been a lot of that throughout the whole seed. It's just been like, are we having multiple screens here? Yeah, it's been really close since this.
It sure has. I was paying attention while I was unavailable for that first part of the race, but wow, what a race so far. We've had 5-9, 7-5. We've had Atlantis. I mean, how crazy of a run has this been so far?
It's been pretty nuts so far, and they've all been pretty consistent, so yeah, we'll see where it goes. Makover finding another hand stage here.
You want to talk about a good race. You want to talk about a consistent group of runners that are going to really bring a wonderful race to this. I mean, 100% randomizer. We were talking about it a bunch in the background, just wanting to, figure out what exactly we were doing. Like, how much of the 100% do you do? Obviously, you've got the Hammer Bro in the back section of World 2. Just a lot of things that could possibly happen with this 100%. And definitely a weird one. But what a better group of runners could you possibly have from this?
Absolutely. Couldn't agree.
I've been trying to find some form of rhyme or reason as to who's in the lead, but really it's legitimately going to come down, I think, to whoever falls Bowser first. I mean, I really, truly believe that's going to be the only issue at the very end is who gets it first. I mean, all 4 of these runners have proven that they are great runners, and I mean, all 4 of them definitely, deserving of being here and being applauded for their efforts and everything. I mean, a gruesome first world. I mean, there were some really tough exercises of, trying to get through 5, I believe that was 5-8, and then, 7-6 right after that. Like, how do you get through that? And for these guys, I think each one of them maybe took a death there. 2 of them had to play it. 2 of them went back and clipped it. I mean, and they're all so close at this point. 34 minutes in, and so close. That's outstanding.
Yeah, they're keeping it really, really close here, and especially like you were saying, when it comes down to, it's definitely going to come down to World 8, because they know they have to do all the levels, but they have to find out where the fortresses are, how to get there to the quickest way. all that good stuff, because it's probably going to have to take, different paths to get to different forts. So it's definitely going to come down to the right decision making, and see how it goes when they get there.
Yeah, you're not wrong at all. I mean, you see some of these players on other things, and we watch some of the players in the SMB3 community that are, so superb at the 100% category. But one of the things that we hold above them is that of, or instead of, I guess, we can't optimize our runs. So in terms of like strategies and things like that, yeah, some of the levels will be a little bit the same, but at the same point, it's just a little bit different in regard to, we can't optimize strats. We can't optimize, somebody walking here, or, where the Hammer Brothers going to be, things like that. We have to go all the way around, like you said.
Yeah, exactly. Makoba with some really nice clips there. I got a first try clip on the first wall, and then a second try clip on the second wall. And he's going to go ahead and take the rest of that stage as normal. I don't blame him. He's got that angry sun to worry about, but that's going to actually save him a ton of time and give him a nice little push above the rest that he already had a nice little lead against.
Yeah, that's a great point. I mean, he's finishing that stage at 263. I know a lot of runners, like if you do it all the way through without any clips or anything, you're looking at a 230, even a 220 left on the clock after that. So, I mean, that's fantastic. Well played by him.
Yeah, really nice, consistent play there. And he's already at the airship for World 5 here. So he'll be the first out. Looks like he's going to go for a nice fire kill. Very nice fire kill. There you go.
I have a feeling that was a fantastic play there on his account. He was doing kind of a hybrid where he was jumping and also doing that. I feel like these runners may have a pretty salty Morton if it comes down to it. Or Roy, I'm sorry. Pretty salty Roy.
Yeah, he did a nice little play there, keeping himself close while also hitting with the fireball. So if he needs to do the jump attack, he was good. So, all right, next one coming up. I'm going to go 4 again. There it is.
I was going to say 3, so you definitely got me there. But I want to visit chat real quick. Fluffy Mittens, I apologize, has written in the chat, it's going to come down to hand stage luck. Now, with this being 100%, actually what's going to be even more interesting than that, and I'm going to step back a little bit and say it's going to come down to World 8 luck, because the route that you take through World 8 will affect what you do and do not play. And because of hand stages, the only lucky part of that is whether or not the hand grabs you. It saves just a half second, I believe. Which actually doesn't matter, because with this being 100%, they will have to find and play all 3 of the hand levels in World 8.
Correct, yeah. Those will be part of the... we don't have it like listed anywhere here, but yeah, they are doing 100%. They're doing all levels. And that does require you doing the hand stages. But again, though, I mean, you're not wrong. It is still going to come down to World 8, I think, because of the different route decisions. Finding the forts, it doesn't sound like it's going to be an issue, but you're going to have to find out how to get to those forts, where the pipes lead you, because it's not going to be a straight shot. It's not going to be like, okay, you're going to get into the dark room, they're all going to be there. No, you may have to find one pipe that leads you to the next area, the hand area, or et cetera, et cetera. So that's where I think it's going to get real interesting.
Exactly. And kind of the way I think about it is it's almost like we're playing the game for the first time, but it's a game you've played a whole bunch of times. So you're familiar with the mechanics. You know the idea of the level, although we change it out just a little bit. But the world layout, you're going to have to figure out. If a fort is preventing you from getting to another fort, you have to find that one first, beat it, and then go back and try to beat that one again. So a little bit of a puzzle in the way that we're going to require the players to actually get through it as expected. And with this being brackets, they're not going to be able to break a lock with a hammer either. They have to do it the honest old-fashioned way. Yeah,
and it wouldn't help them too much either way. But yeah, with these flags, they'll be forced to do them all. Macobra had I think it was about 11 or 12th try, 7-1 clip there. So that'll give the other players a slight little chance to catch up if they can get their own very quick 7-1 clip. We'll see. Got a hammer from that for a reward there, which won't be a lot of help.
Yeah, one of the things that is not required here, obviously, the end card has been turned off. But also, Boomerang Brothers is the only form of items a lot of these players will be using. Many of them, I don't believe, will go for the Mushroom House at all. And it's going to be interesting to see. And, even Human Mustard, I've been watching him doing a lot of 100% and any percent recently. So, none of these guys are out of this race yet. This is going to be very exciting to see.
Most definitely. And just saw Paradox get a third try, 7-1 clip there. Proa, he's going near the 10s here, but he should be getting in here very soon. But yeah, that can make a huge difference. Just that'll, there he goes. He's got it there. Human Mustard, he's also been slowly catching up. Just being consistent, not a lot of deaths, getting through the levels as quickly as possible. Slowly coming back.
Yeah, definitely. That was 7-9. That's a really difficult one for many runners to do the clip on. And that's another thing, you watch guys like Mitch Flower Power who are so good at the clipping and things like that, but they're also able to like manipulate the data. Well, since our runners don't know where 7-9 is and they don't know how to manipulate those because they don't know what's coming next, so why even bother? They have even less of a chance to get the right one the first time and make all those clips correctly. So it's really interesting to see from that regard. And we were talking about not being able to optimize strats as Macobra is going into 6-5. But we talk about not being able to optimize the strats with the Hammer Brothers and the things of that nature. And that's part of it as well, is we're not able to do anything to help the runners along. They're not able to do anything to help themselves, I should say. And it just really puts them in a bind.
Yeah, definitely. Yeah, it definitely does. It's definitely not easy at all. Macobra took a nasty death there near the end of that one, unfortunately. I think he's going to have too much of an issue going back through it.
Yeah, if I know anything about these runners, it's maybe one shot to get through some of these levels. And 6-5 is certainly a doozy, especially with those bloopers. They do not like to really be nice to anyone, but hopefully the second time will be good enough for Makover here.
Yeah, this stage has not been nice to him in the past as well. He's had a very unfortunate history with this stage. But it looks like Human Mustard has finally made his way to 4. Ooh, Paradox was just barely short on that jump.
Yeah, that's a tough one on 2-4. It's with all the Hammer Brothers and everything else, you really have to be mindful of how you get through the level quickly and painlessly, which Paradox has taken the painlessly portion and he's going to fly above the level.
Yeah.
Always a personal favorite of mine.
I don't blame it. I don't blame it at all.
No, I mean, these guys are great, but without being able to optimize and get the P-speed strats that we talk about, things like that, it's hard. These can be very toxic levels. They can be very difficult to try to figure out.
I actually like that top route there because you don't have to worry about the randomized enemies. You can just kind of like run and go.
Yeah, absolutely. And I mean, obviously, these guys aren't in need of any of it, but if you needed lives, there's a bunch of coins up there that you can get. So.
Ah, very nice.
Not many tries for Human Mustard there. I think I caught 4 or 5 tries there, but Paradox is currently going through 6-5, which Pro had just got through with a mushroom, which honestly I'm impressed by. That's very well done.
Yeah, that's not easy with just a mushroom. You can only sacrifice 1 hit, so the one that this one right here, Paradox, he's gonna have to. He's got the firepower. He should be good. Oh, and I knew that thing Cheap Cheap was gonna do that.
Yeah, the dive bombing Cheap Cheap there, man. That's just unfair.
The kamikaze Cheap Cheeps.
They'll get you every time. Looks like a death from Proe on 8-1. He's going to go back with a Tanuki suit. I wouldn't be surprised to see the flight to the Secret Tube, which it looks like he's about to do here.
That's a good call.
That's usually my favorite because then you can pick up P-Speed here, which he did not do. That's interesting. Then from here, I'll actually fly to the end of the level just to keep myself safe and not have to worry about anything. A little bit slower, but it's a safe route. Paradox taking the exact same path. He is going to take the P-Speed. as well. So hopefully we can see what that looks like here.
Yeah, he's gonna want to get that shortcut. Meanwhile, Makobra just finished up World 4 there, and he's on to the next one.
World 3!
We haven't seen 5? No, you saw 5, so it's gotta be, yep, 3 there.
Very nice. And of course, World 3 means the home of Wendy. So hopefully we'll get a good one here. I know our runners have been through a lot, so I'm kind of pulling for a Dala Menu Wendy here. Hopefully no earthquakey shaky.
No earthquakey shaky, please.
But I tell you, Paradox and Proe both really showing off well. I mean, both of these guys have been neck and neck throughout this entire thing. Both had a single death on 6-5. Or I take that back. Paradox had the death on 2-4. Proe had, I think, a death on 6-5, but still just neck and neck now. And one shot's going to mean they're both in the air at the same time here.
Right, yeah. They've been neck and neck pretty much the whole way, and only just like a heartbeat behind Makobra as well. So it's definitely looking.
Oh, definitely. I mean, maybe a level behind Makobra. Human Mustard, I was just watching his. He is currently working on 8-2. And he's been working on a lot of the P-Speed strats. So a little, didn't exactly see it here, but still made it through the first time, did really well. So that's a little bit of a time save as well. He's got 2-4, I believe, to go. And then that's going to be him going into the castle as well. Or 6-5, I apologize. I guess the biggest question here for Human Mustard is, can he get through the first time without any death? And because the others took deaths here, I would also equate that to a time save as well. We're watching Proe take a little bit of a fancy route through there, using the Tanuki suit to his advantage, able to fly across that top wall and kind of get himself out of some trouble with dropping shells. But it looks like Human Mustard through the toughest parts, and he'll be able to get through here his first time as well. This could be very interesting for sure.
Yeah, that's actually pretty big. He was able to get that through that first try and pretty quickly, so that'll give him a little bit of a boost here to catch up.
Yeah, for sure. I think the only question right now is, does Human Mustard run out of real estate? We know this is a 100% run. We know that they're going to have to go all the way through World 7 and World 8 and, complete the entirety of this map, which I believe World 2, have we seen that yet?
No, so yeah, World 2 will be the final world, and then, yeah, we'll have to see how nasty World 8 is going to be.
So World 2 can be, it'll have to be played all the way through, but it is one of the more shorter worlds in terms of 100%. So what that means, if Human Mustard only has about 3 worlds to catch up here, and Makopa's already several levels into World 3, I don't have a doubt that Human Mustard can catch up, potentially, but does he have the ability to? Like, does he have enough room to do it here at this point? Also, I'm going to jump in the chat real quick. Krista Joy had a great point about item management and usage and things like that. With this being a 100% raise, one of the things you can do and manipulate is that of the items that you have. So if you damage boost through an area that a 100% runner may not do, that does actually give you the possibility and the option of playing it a little bit more aggressively to make sure you get through, such as 6-5 or 7-5. Some of those levels that are really difficult and really long, you take a little bit of a damage boost as opposed to taking a death, and that actually does save you some time.
Yeah, a lot of that strategy goes hand in hand with using frog suits just to give you a big Mario if that's the only item you have, or stuff like that. There's nothing wrong with gambling and being a little risky and using the deboost strat to finish a stage faster than it would have been to kind of play it more carefully.
Absolutely. I mean, if we see 7F2 here at some point, that's kind of a big one. You don't want to have to play it again. You don't want to fall into lava. You don't want to, take up a lot of time, but you do want to get through it. And if that means a little bit of damage boost, then, so interestingly,
I would like to point out the lives count right now. Macobra and Proa are at 19 lives, and Paradox and Human Mustard are both at 13. I don't know why. I find that very amusing.
there's a glitch in the Matrix. I mean, it'd be a little bit cooler if we had Proa and Paradox with the same lives, because then that way, we've had almost the sinkage on the right.
Human Mustard just had a little reminder that hammers do not break locks in these flags, so he's going to have to take the long way around to get down to that fort, which is one minor thing you do have to think of.
Definitely, and that's a very big point. That's what I was about to bring up a moment ago, is it looks like there's a fortress that's required to be played to get to the other fortress, which means they're going to have to do it, go back and come back again. Now, we've warned the players before this, if we catch them not playing a fortress, a level, or something like that before they beat the castle, then you're going to forfeit the race, essentially. And we'll have to call them out on that. So keep an eye out. If any of our runners go to Lindy's castle and decide to beat it before they finish that last fortress that they're going to have to come back for, call it out. We'll make a note of that. And we'll clip it and show them.
Yeah, they've been all very good so far. They've been finishing all the levels they've needed to. So nothing's been missed so far as I know. And yeah, as long as they don't forget to go back and do that other one, they should be good.
Indeed, and hopefully we don't see that. Obviously, we don't want any of our runners to be punished for this, and looks like Macobra knows this, so he's going to go right back and say, you know what, I've got it open, I'm playing it. I think that's a good call. Don't forget it.
Alright, Human Mustard finishing up this fortress here. Proa and Paradox are still just very, very close behind Macobra. I mean, just half a stage behind them. I mean, they're right there, so it's gonna get really close. Oh, thank you, Human Mustard. Thank you for remembering to go back. Now I can breathe easy. I think we'll be good now.
Now, I haven't seen Proa and Paradox do it yet. Have they taken on that fortress as well?
I
believe it was Fortress 2F, and I don't know that I've seen it yet.
I thought I saw them go back and do it. Yeah. So Paradox has done it, and I'm pretty sure Proa did as well. Yes, Proa did it.
That's fortunate. If I missed it, that is perfectly fine. But if they miss it, not so much.
Yeah, I knew Human Mustard needed to go back, and that's the sigh of relief that I'm glad he remembered to go back.
Okay, looks like Proa hammered over to it, so that's good. Thank you for that call out, Zero. We appreciate it. We're having just a little bit of a conversation about, an argument, I would say. Crystal Joy says that she does not approve of the frog is just a hidden mushroom strategy, while Nanoha says sacrifice the Yoshi, sacrifice the frog suit, sacrifice everything! We at the SMB3 Randomizer do not hold any of this as our views. These are mainly the commentation from chat, and we respect all rights reserved.
No Yoshis were harmed in the making of this stream, and that's mostly because Yoshi's not in this game, so therefore he didn't get harmed.
Yeah, exactly. We decided to give Yoshi the break here, and it's just Mario mano a mano with the big Bowser lizard.
All right, so that world 2 there is our final world. They have to do them all anyways, but there's no shortcuts to anything. The pipes are near the end, and we did mention this earlier, but they do not need to do the Hammer Bro at the end of this world. That is not required for the completion of 100%. They didn't want to require you to, hopefully find a hammer to get to that hammer bro behind the rock. So they will not have to do that hammer bro.
With it being brackets, that was more of a likelihood that they would have a hammer, but with it being randomizer, like you said, there's no guarantee of having a hammer. There's no guarantee of even being able to use it there. So we didn't know when World 2 was going to be. We didn't know what the hammers were going to look like, which is why we said that was certainly an optional strategy at that point.
Yeah, definitely. And Paradox and Pro keeping the trend going here. Like they're just like seconds away from each other. Pro maybe 5 seconds ahead, a couple maybe more than that. But Human Mustard, he's nearing the end of the second to last world here, so he'll be very close to being at the World 2 as well.
Yeah, you called it. It was right about a 6.5, 7 second difference between Paradox and Pro based on when they entered the pipe leading to the end of the level. So it's so close between these two. Macobra's just holding on to that lead with every grip strength he has, and Human Mustard trying to catch up to World 7 as well.
Yeah, so with World 2 being very straightforward, it's very linear, there's really not much going on here. They're just gonna, assuming they all play consistent, nobody dies, and just finish it, they're all gonna get into World 8 about a little roughly about the same time, and that's where you're gonna see some route divergence, and you're gonna see things get shaken up here a little bit. So that's where it's gonna get real interesting.
I just realized where the pipe was to Windy, so I think the best strategy there was to play all the levels, then come back, and right before you enter the 2, play that World 2 Fortress. So not a huge risk issue with the World 3 there, which is good to see. We're doing kind of a weird randomizer run, so anything that we can do to make sure that they know they're in the right place is good.
Yeah, exactly. So as Human Mustard is finishing up the World 6 there, Macobra took an unfortunate death from Boss Bass. And then he almost took another one. If he didn't have a star on, I think he would have took 2 deaths from Boss Bass. But he was able to squeeze by on that one, and there you go.
That is what we like to call a clinch moment. We were not expecting the big Boss Bass to be right there. But thankfully, Macobra did not take another death, as that is highly unfortunate. I'd be interested to see if there's any kind of a change in play here. It looks like he's got a P-Wing to be as comfortable and as cautious as possible on this one. I wonder if that means he thinks he's behind at all after that.
Potentially, yeah. It's hard to kind of gauge. Like in a race like this, it's kind of hard to gauge where you feel like you are, since they're 57 minutes in and it's a 100% seed. So they probably might feel like they're a little bit behind, but I mean, all 4 of them have been very consistent. They've all have a really good time for what I consider a 100% seed. So Macobra might feel like he's a little bit behind, but you might also be looking at his item inventory and thinking, well, if I have some extra items here, I might as well go ahead and use them.
Yeah, definitely. Going back to what Krista Joy had brought in the chat a little bit ago, play that a little bit aggressively. You don't have any reason, and I mean, you're not optimizing strats here. You're not doing anything like that. You're just trying to beat the game. So if you've got it, use it. We need to get you through the game. That's about it.
Oh man, Pro about gave me a slight heart attack, but it looks like he's good. Cobra finishing up the hammer bro here.
Yeah, you're not kidding. I was watching that with behind my hands and with bated breath. You're playing dangerous, man. Why? They ought to know better to not do that to the commentators in the booth. That's not fair. All kidding aside, we see Human Mustard go into 5-3 and the Cobra going for a little bit of a pit stop here. Decides he doesn't want the tail, but he's going to be finishing off World 3's first fortress here in just a moment.
Yeah, I don't blame him going for that free power up right there, just to be on the safe side. It could have been a star. It would have been an easy kill for Boom Boom. So it's looking like, yeah, he's got about a 2-stage lead here. Actually, it's going to be about 1. Pro is entering the fortress that Macobra just finished up. Paradox is finishing up the stage right before that. So it's one after another. Paradox, Proa, Macobra in that order. 3, 2, 1.
Yeah, it does look like Paradox is going to have to take on a couple of Hammer Bros real quick. So he's going to be just a little bit behind that even. Each one of these taking approximately 15-20 seconds. And with it being a point chip, it's just a little bit longer than that.
Yeah.
However, Proa does have the pyramid, and with the tail, he'll make short work of this for sure. Meanwhile, Macobra are first into World 8.
And here we go. We're going to get a first glimpse at how disastrous this World 8 could be. I like to take a first glance into the first screen. Usually you'll see you're going to have at least one pipe, but sometimes you can get a room full of pipes there, and then you're just going to have to make a quick, instant decision on where to go.
Yeah, usually if you've got something like that, I like to do just if you see it, play it kind of mentality, and especially with it being 100%, you have to do it anyway.
Right, exactly. Look at that. Look at that.
Yeah, 4 pipes. Just pick one and make it stick. Although that is going to be interesting. It'll be interesting to see how Macobra does this. He may use that as like his central control of beat everything there, go back to the front world, and then go to another one. Or he may just try to play it through as linearly as possible.
Yeah, and see where one path takes him, and then decide where to go after that. Yeah, I could definitely see that.
I'm not so sure that there's any good rhyme or reason for either, except to know where Bowser is. If he's accessible from the front world, you'll obviously need to know that. However, if it's more of a linear approach where you're taking to each one before finally visiting Bowser at the end, that's definitely one to be mindful of as well.
Yeah, that one of the pipes to Bowser could be in one of those 4. We know it's not the first one, but it could be one of the other 3, so I'll have to keep that in mind. And then in the hand room stage, we have 4 other pipes there, so they have a lot to check there.
Proa with a wonderful heads-up strategy there. He wound up with a tail going into Fort Knox, and that's going to be a quick move.
Oh, that is going to give him a nice little push.
I mean, I know that we've had a Macobra lead for a long time, virtually since like World 2 or 3, but it's coming down to the wire. It's going to be a last second who takes out Bowser.
Yeah, and small moves like that's all it takes. You do a bunch of small moves like that, add up to a big time save. So it'll come down to some decision making here, yeah, and seeing where it'll lead. Route divergence.
Yeah, we'll see if there's any. There's at some point there's a. This is what I want to do. This is, what is usually expected as far as randomizers go. And, I'll see if they have any of that here, or if there is some divergence of what do I play next. Currently, Proa falling right behind what Macobra's doing.
Yeah, they're both making the same plays here. There's a hand stage in the dark room. Pro is finishing up the tank here that Macobra just finished up. And, I mean, look out. Paradox, he's in that hand stage too, man. He's caught up right with him.
Yeah, there's maybe a level separating each one of them respectively. Proa is in the middle, I think, at this point. Paradox right behind him, and Macobra right behind, or right in front of him, I should say. Too close to call. And to add to the pleasure and excitement, we have Human Mustard entering World 8 as well, doing his best to catch up also.
And there you go. And 7F2 is going to do its best to slow Macobra down, but looks like he's going to be able to get through it pretty quickly here. I was going to say something. So in this dark room area, and what looks like for pretty much the entirety of World 8, it's a little linear, but it's that first screen that could be a wild card. And it looks like they're all taking the same path. Every single one of them took the same exact path.
It's definitely understandable. We talk about the optimized strategies and things like that, and obviously there's not a lot here in Randomizer. But it would be interesting to see a little bit of route divergence. Do something just a little bit crazier. I think if I saw that first the four worlds, I almost think I'd play a different pipe just to see what's out there, or
Right,
maybe even just
yeah.
go back.
And I think it's because they know they're doing 100% that wherever they end up, they know they're going to have to clear everything anyways. But if this was a non 100% C, that would have been a very interesting first screen to see where all four of them went.
Definitely. It would be kind of interesting to see if we could have a way to limit what people could do. So if one person picked it, you have to pick a different one.
Oh, right, yeah.
We'll really make this random. The first person there gets first choice, and then, well, good luck. Maybe team randomizer. I wonder if we could get that going.
Yeah, that'd be a little multi-world randomizer there.
Yeah, there we go. All right, looks like we've got one of our last Bowser fortresses here that we've seen. I think we've had the Army, the Navy, the second tanks. I think we're just about there on Macobra, and then Proa taking on the tanks as well. So
yeah, I think we have seen all of them now.
Macobra finding, I believe, the second hand level at this point. We'll see if Proa follows and does the exact same thing here.
Ooh. Alright, Macobra's good. He had Angry Sun there, but he's good.
Zero Wing, I think that's a banishable offense if you keep that up. One stage only, Rando Seed, only 5-9. I think I would cry and then just rage quit. I'm pretty sure that's one I would not finish. Although it'd be great practice for 5-9 if you needed that.
Oh, it'd be great practice for 5-9.
You get 3 levels. Which 3 are they going to be? Let's see. 7F2, 5-9, and Atlantis. How about that? Speaking of 7F2, we are in there with Human Mustard. Have we seen this with the others? I don't recall.
Macobra is the only one that has already finished 7F2. I don't think anybody else has done 7F2.
So we might have just a little bit of route divergence. I don't know that it's going to mean a whole lot at this point, though. Of course, that's kind of hard not to have unless people are watching. But, I mean, I don't know. It looks like Proa and Paradox are doing the exact same thing that Macobra did. So,
yeah, they have been following each other. And it looks like Macobra is now looking for the pipe that's going to take him to Bowser. Because I believe... yeah, that hand stage right there is the last stage that he needs to complete until he can go to Bowser. And we now know the way out of World 8.
Now, I apologize. I think I missed it. Did we see the L be played on the hand world? Because as we just saw there on Paradox screen, there is one last tank icon that has to be played before this is an official run.
I want to say yes.
The chat agrees with you as well so far.
Yeah, I'm pretty sure. Yeah, they're good. L78. Yeah, that sounds about right. Alright, so Proa and Macobra are on Bowser at the same time, out of nowhere. Alright. Proa with the first clip. Macobra's going for the second one. Oh, he gets...
How crazy close is that?
I mean, man, if that would have taken Macobra maybe a couple extra attempts, that... oh, no, and Proa loses his hammer.
Wow.
Wow.
That is going to be too close to call. I think Proa at this point knows that he's just slightly behind. Well, I don't know if he knows or not, but except that we do have the first 2 SRL times coming in. We'll get those to you in just one moment. I will say it was less than 40 seconds separating them, so incredibly close.
That was very, very close. We have an official SRL time of 109.33 from Macobra at 52. And we're about to get our time here from Pro as he finishes up.
And while we're doing that, definitely get your GGs out for both Macobra and Proa, who put on exceptional exhibitions here. I mean, outstanding.
It's a fantastic race. GGs. And Pro finishes with an official time of 1 hour, 10 minutes, and 12 seconds. GG.
Yeah, very well played on all accounts. Shushlinart, the invincible Bowser move, is because the developers did not put a hitbox in the bottom half of Bowser. If you're small Mario, you can actually stand underneath Bowser and not take any damage, even from his jumping. That was later rectified on the Game Boy Advance remake.
All right, and there we go. Paradox also getting a hammer kill on Bowser. Paradox is going to be finishing with an official SRL time of 1 hour and 11 minutes and 18 seconds.
And one last one to shout out here, who was not part of the restream but was still part of the race.
Oh, that's right.
Teeks88, who was playing on another channel on his own stream, and he was playing, he wound up with a 1 hour, 11 minute, and 56 second run. So he took 4th place, but still an exceptional run as well. I mean, all 4 of these runners have been within just 2.5 minutes up to this point. I mean, absolutely outstanding.
Yeah, we weren't able to watch Teeks throughout this run, but I mean, it's all 4 of these runners that's finished so far. Very close race. And you really have to think about all the stages they did. They did every single stage, and for it to be this close is pretty impressive. So
absolutely,
claps.
Yeah, props for sure. We'll be getting those. Hopefully some interviews here in just one moment, and we'll come to that in just in seconds here. But and even Human Muster, I mean, how many great levels have we seen in play so far? And it's just unfortunate, he had like one level, I believe, that really cost him, and that was just enough. At that point it's mental, and it's hard to come back.
Yeah, and even then, I mean, yeah, 109 with Macobra, and he's going to be finishing up here in just a second. And he gets to that wall clip. It was like first try. Very good. He's going to be finishing up here in just a second.
That's you love to see it kind of thing. And he
absolutely
will be finishing up here. And just again, like barely 3 minutes after our first player. I mean, that's just exceptional. Absolutely outstanding.
And there goes our final runner for the race today, Human Mustard, with an official SRL time. 1 hour, 13 minutes, 14 seconds. GG to all of our runners today. And we are now joined with our second place finish, Pro at 007. GG.
Thank you. That was something.
Yeah, for a seed that you all committed to do all the stages for, it ended up being a very close race between all 4 that were being restreamed. I mean, all 4 of you guys were really, really close, especially you, Pro, Paradox, and Macobra. All 3 of you guys, man, y'all were literally right there.
Yeah. The one thing I think that probably cost me the win was 7-5. I should have taken the 100 coin fine and used my my P-Wing there. That would have probably saved me at least 30-40 seconds, just because it was a nasty enemy set too.
Oh yeah.
The enemy set was definitely difficult on that, and we actually saw deaths, I believe, on every person's screen. Really, at the very end, you were actually coming back on Macobra at the very end, and the only separation that we saw was the lack of a clip from you. Macobra hit the clip at the very end to go straight to Bowser, and you had to go through the fireball route.
Yeah.
And at that point, I mean, we thought it was going to be either of you.
Well, yeah, I don't really commit to the clip after a couple of misses, and once, then the fireball pattern at the end was a nasty stack of two on top of each other, and with a little bit of with a pixel separation. That was just nasty. But no, I thought down the stretch I played pretty well, and having the tail for 7F1 and some good items for some of the other forts, I thought really helped.
Yeah, that ending right into Bowser was that was pretty rough with the two fireballs stacked on. So it's like if Macobra hadn't got the clip, he probably would have gone through that same path and might have had the same issue with it. That would have been really tough to survive that room with a hammer without getting hit.
Yeah, we are also joined.
GG Macobra.
Yeah, that was something for sure.
Yeah.
Macobra, I have to ask, towards the end, it looked like you had taken a death towards the end of, I believe, World 7. How did that affect you? It looked like you immediately went back and took a P-Wing, I believe going into 4-2. What was kind of going through your mind? Did you feel like you were behind there, or what was up with that?
World 7, that was World 2?
I believe so, yeah.
7.
Yeah.
Yeah. Honestly, it's a blur to me. Coming from pretty much every level in the game. It's trying to recall when that was. But usually when I just take it up, I don't let it get to me. I just keep on going, keep trucking along.
Yeah. It's like
I think the other. Go ahead, Pro.
I would say I was pretty tilted at that beginning. 5-8 in the one spot, and 7-6 in the other, and I was determined to keep that mushroom in 5-8 because I knew what was waiting on the other side, and by the grace of God, I barely got past with my mushroom, and then mac and cheese 7-6.
And the power of the flag too. He's something that level, and couldn't hold on to it. So I was on a go mode at that point, not real go mode, but just playing 7-6,
right.
And just getting through it. And after I've completed, I was like, oh, I could have probably skipped this and went to another level, got a power up and clipped it, but a little too late at that point.
Right.
Two quick things. The first thing was I'm glad I think it was in. I can't remember which world order it was, but it was World 3. You all had to go back and do that one fortress, and I was so scared you guys were going to forget to go back and do it, and you all remembered, and I was very happy for that.
Yeah.
And then I think it was like in the first 5 minutes of the seed, you got Atlantis 5-9 and 7-6. I think I was like, Jesus, what the heck is this? So Pro had the decision to. I go through the one stage to keep the power up without getting hit, so you could clip through. And I believe it was I want to say Human Mustard and Paradox both went through 7-6 normally. I can't remember who did it, but Pro, you were I think you were actually the only one that decided to take the effort of keeping that power up so you could clip through 7-6.
Yeah. When I took the unintentional death the first time in 5-8, I was like, okay, well, 5-8 is 5-8, so let's see what's behind door number 2, and it's like, oh, and I saw 7-6, like, oh no.
Yeah.
Yeah, that was not ideal, but I'm also going to hazard a guess and say I'm the only one who double hammered those boulders in World 3 to get to that fort early.
Yes, you were the only one to do so. Yeah, I saw Human Mustard trying to break the locks, forgetting flags don't break the locks with the hammers. Yeah, you are the only one that had the double hammer to do it there. I think
Yeah.
others had the hammers, they just didn't make the decision to do it.
Right. I was half tempted in World 2 to go after, even though it was optional, I was half tempted to go after that hammer bro in the back because I realized we didn't have any hammer suits yet. Because based on the item draw, I was like, wonder if that guy's holding a hammer suit. But,
Right.
But I ultimately decided, well, if I didn't get it, then probably nobody else did. So I figured it wasn't worth an extra 15 seconds to roll the dice on that.
Sounds good.
Yeah, that's an interesting thought there. It never occurred to me. I just let the hammers and clouds sit in inventory. I didn't think to hammer any spots like that. Especially World Free, that would have saved some time to figure out how to get to that area.
Yeah. I used a couple of clouds mostly to clear the decks of any hammer bros. So I wouldn't have to wait for those screens during the transition for them to move. That was really the extent of that.
Yeah, that's true too. Clearing out the bros, so you don't have to wait for them to march every level.
Yeah, because I know in World 4 I actually did that with the one in between the three levels at the end, and I actually clouded over 6-6, and I went there like, oh well, that's nice.
Yeah. That was give me a little time there. Died like once and then got close to dying again. It's crazy.
Yeah, 6. It was 6-6 8-1, and I figured 8-1 in the fourth spot, and I died in 8-1. But I couldn't remember what the other one was. But it's like the bad ones came in bunches. It seems like.
Yeah.
But no, that was an interesting little experiment. Glad that we all finished within about 3.5 minutes of each other. That's always nice.
Yeah, I was telling Wolf that I mean, for a randomizer 100% seed for all 5 of you to finish within like 4 minutes of each other is very impressive. So yeah, that just goes to show like how consistent all 5 of you played within the seed. It was very fun to watch.
Yeah, I kind of figured it was going to be pretty close overall, especially given that early there was that nastiness, and then 7-5 was kind of nasty, and 5-3 was pretty ugly too.
Yeah, all the Batui's at the top.
None of them shot any Patuis at me. Like none of the nippers shot fireballs at me, and I'm pretty sure there were a couple of them there. But I rode that raccoon Mario all the way through, and thankfully I got through unscathed.
Yeah.
Because I could see that level being particularly nasty. Yeah. But no, that was entertaining for sure.
Well, it's definitely entertaining to watch. Absolutely.
Yeah.
But Cobra and Pro, if you have anything else to add, go right ahead. After this great experiment, I think we need to do this again in the future, just to mix it up a little bit.
I would be up for it. It probably need more than 90 minutes, just because us, some of the newer players, like, they're used to skipping around some of these stages, but you have to go through pretty much all of them. And I was actually running in my head which ones we hadn't played, and like most everything, like all the tough levels were accounted for. I think like the only ones I can think of offhand that I know I didn't play, like 6-4 didn't get played, 6-9 didn't get played. 1-6 wasn't played. Quicksand wasn't played. I don't think 3-2 was. But
I didn't see 3-2.
Yeah, 4-4 wasn't played. So, but I think we got pretty much everything else. Like that at the end, it was like, what, man? What didn't I play? Because we've got 9 bonus levels, so that in the mix. Pretty sure we played all the bonus stages.
Yeah, I think we counted all of them. But yeah, it's interesting to see which levels make the cut and which don't.
Yeah.
And,
Yeah, it's like, yeah. For something like this, you're hoping that Lost in the Shuffle is like a 6-6 or a 7-5 or something.
yeah,
Or Atlantis 5-9, 5-3, all those really long stages. Like you just want to get away from them.
yeah.
All right. Well, GG's Macobra, well-deserved win. Thanks, guys, for doing the comms.
Thanks to Speed Gaming and all the volunteers that make this happen every week, and again, GG's.
Absolutely.
Yeah. Absolutely, GG's to Macobra winner and Proa, Human Mustard, and Paradox Antiques as well. Wolf, thank you for joining me on commentary. I appreciate it.
Always a pleasure. Always a really wonderful chance to, get to see what this game can do and what our runners can do. As always, a fantastic show of how good these guys are. And thank you for being on comments with me as well. You saved me in the last moments before the race. So thank you so much for being here and being a part. And Chad, thank you for being here as well.
Absolutely. Always glad to help. And I should be able to join in on next week's race. And we'll see what we have planned for that. So if you'd like to join in with the race or just tune into the next one, we have them on every Friday at 12 p.m. Eastern, and then every Saturday at 9 p.m. Eastern. Those are every Friday and every Saturday we have weekly races. So you can find them here on the Speed Gaming channels. And we'll see you on the next one. So I am S Diesel, and go right ahead, Wolf.
And one last thing before we do close it out, if you do have a recommendation for a randomizer that you'd like to see, definitely let us know. We're always looking for new ways to experiment, new ways to kind of get some new features in and things like that. So if there's something you like, if you like the hammers, break blocks, if you like things like that, give us a shout out. Let us know. Bring that to one of our randomizer races, put it in the chat, and we'll see what we can do to make that happen.
Absolutely. You could see your next influential randomizer up here. You just gotta put your feedback.
Absolutely. On behalf of the runners, the SMB3 community, this has been Growlwolf and S Diesel. Thank you for so much being here, and until next time, keep randomizing.
Bye guys, have a good one.